Hi there, happy Hump Day. Welcome to Wednesday. For some people, career decisions are simple. They know exactly what it is that they want to do next. For others, the choice is not so easy. And paradoxically, at times, having too many options can make that decision process harder. This is backed up by research. There's a well-known TED Talk by Barry Schwartz titled The Paradox of Choice. And in that TED Talk, he explains research which shows that marketers have often thought that what they need to do to increase sales is give customers lots of different options. What his research has shown is that when you have too many options, it can overwhelm us. It can lead to inertia, decision paralysis, which means that we don't actually end up making a choice at all. Now, like many elements of research, there has been some subsequent research which challenges some of the findings, and it is a nice reminder to be wary of generalizations. But when it comes to your career, I've seen it happen many times. When people who have too many ideas, too many choices, they struggle to work out what to do next. I've worked with clients who, when they're seeking to make a career leap, because they've had so many different experiences, things that they've done throughout their career, they struggle to figure out what to do. Having too much choice overwhelms. It leads to procrastination, indecision, inertia. And there's also a fear that if they go down one particular path and therefore walk away from what they've done in the past, that it's going to lock them in. And then if it doesn't work out, they're locked into something and won't know where to go. So when thinking about what to do next, it's essential to source lots of ideas. You want options, but you then need to filter them. And when you're filtering, what you're trying to do is you're trying to find that sweet spot where you don't kill off a good idea because you're worried or fearful about making a career leap. You want to filter, not by fear and certainly not by people's expectations. So you want to be mindful if you hear yourself saying things like, "Oh, I've tried this before," or "I don't have time," or "It feels too hard, it feels too scary." You also want to be wary if you hear other people say things like, "What do you know about that?" Or "That's pretty risky. I've seen other people who have done that and it's failed." "Wow, that's hard. How can you afford to do this?" That's fine in theory, but really it's just a pipe dream. All of those comments, the ones that you are saying to yourself and the ones that other people might be saying to you, aren't going to be helpful. What is far more helpful is to get practical, to draw boundaries around your possibilities. And this is about filtering out the ideas that don't fit with the practical reality of your life or that overall vision of the life that you want to lead. So to get clear, to get direction, the key question to ask yourself is, what am I willing to trade? Everything in life is a trade-off, because when you're deciding to do one thing, that means you may not have the space to do something else. So you want to get clear on what really matters the most to you. When you're choosing to take one direction, you are walking away from a different type of direction. So these trade-offs can come in all shapes and sizes. I've seen people who have walked away from big corporate jobs because they wanted to spend more time with their family, or they wanted to create space so their partner could step up to take a bigger role. For me, my key driver has been a love of learning, a love of being challenged. In the past, I've also valued and needed financial security. However, as I progressed through my career, some of those elements changed. I still loved the learning. I loved the challenge, but I wanted more autonomy. So I was willing to trade financial security for autonomy, that freedom to choose how I worked and when I worked, where I worked, and the type of work that I did. So when it comes to you filtering and making those decisions, you need to know what's more important to you. Is it the status of the role, the financial security, the location of the role, the financial flexibility? Is it the type of challenge that you're going to get or the learning? Is this role going to be a stepping stone to something else that comes next? The clearer you are on what you're willing to trade, the easier it is to identify that career destination that best meets your needs. So I'm going to give you a couple of things to think about. Firstly, you need to give yourself some time to work through the options. It can sound formulaic, but it is really helpful to do that pro and con list. You want to be as objective as you possibly can be, knowing, of course, that emotions are never filtered out of decision making. You then want to have a clear decision criteria. So you're outlining what is most important to you, and that helps you weigh up the options. Then consider the alignment between your values and the values of the organization or the area that you're considering entering. Then check how the role or the area that you're moving to aligns with your career aspirations. Does it give you the flexibility? Does it give you opportunities for learning? Does it give you the scope and breadth that you're looking for? Is there opportunities to progress up or progress across, depending on what it is that you're looking for? Who are you going to be reporting to? How does that fit with your own style and how you learn? And it's also important to consider two fundamental aspects. One, whilst money is important and we all need money to live, it's not the ultimate motivator. And a short-term pay rise can lead to long-term unhappiness at work. Lastly, trust your gut instinct, because your gut instinct when it comes to career decisions is often right. But what you don't want to do is listen to any fear that you've got inside you, because often the best career leaps have an element of uncertainty. And when there's uncertainty, there's always that tinge of discomfort. So, how are you going to filter? What are your options? And where could you land next? Lots to think about. Have a great week. I'll see you next week.